So this is part two of the structural steel framing drawing. We're going to be doing some bracing and we're going to be doing some roofing on the top and just finishing the drawing up. So we'll start with the bracing. So we've got the brace up here, and in the properties box, the only one we can select is this one, which is no good to us. It's far too large and it's the wrong section. So we're going to load family. When we're in load family, get to your normal families, go down to structural framing. We're going to steel, and I'm going to choose the round bar. So go down to round bar. When I bring this round bar in, the only one they bring in is the 25mm. So we need to go to edit type, and we're going to duplicate, and I'm going to add in 100mm, and then change the diameter. It's going to be 100mm as well. Do those two there. I've now got in the properties bar, I've now got 25mm and 100. You can change it to any sizes you want, and there's many different types as you want there as well. So when we're in this one, make sure you've got 3D snapping checked, and you need to make sure that you're actually going to the right places as well. So when you're working in 3D, it's very easy to go from the wrong place. So I'm just going to check on this one here, and I'm then going to come up to this one here, and I'm just double checking to make sure that it is going from that one to this beam, this column here. It's very easy to get disorientated in 3D and actually connect to the wrong places. I've done it many times. So I'm now going to come down and I'll make sure you can see it's trying to snap to all these different ones. Make sure you snap to the correct one. And just double checking, yes, I've got that correct on there now. So once I've done that, I now need to go into structure, and we're going to go into connection. And before I do that, obviously, I need to select what is going to connect. So we go the column first, and then the first brace, then back into structure, back into connection. And this is going to be something like a gusset plate, something or other. Let's have a look. So we've got the gusset plate at one diagonal. That'll do us. And then you can see the different the type of connection it provides. We do the same at the top. So again, this one here, column and our brace into structure, into connection, and it's going to be that gusset place at one diagonal. And for this end, we're going to select three things, so those two and the column, into structure, connection, and this will be a double. Where are we? Double tube brace. Yeah, that one looks quite good. Again, you can select pretty much any one you want. It's whatever you prefer. And that provides us with our connection for the bracing. And you can go and do as much or a little of that as you like around your structure, depending on what it would need. So that's how you do bracing in our steel work. To do our roof, we're going to be providing a purlin type roof going on here. So for that, we're going to use the beam system. So we click on beam system, and you can see it goes into a drawing mode. So we've got the red cross and green tick that we need to provide. We're going to need to provide it or set our work plane. So on the top right hand corner, we've got our set work plane button. So we click on that. I'm actually going to pick a plane for this one. Click on OK. And the plane I want to choose is this angle here, the angle of the top of this roof here. So make sure we get the top of this beam clicked. Once I've done that, I've now selected the plane at which it's working, and I'm going to choose the rectangle, and then from there I'm just going to draw out a rough rectangle in there. Go to level 2 so you can see it in plan view. It's a bit easier. And then I'm then going to choose the align tool, so it's AL on the keyboard, and I'm actually going to go to the outside of the foundation. For this one here, I want to choose the center line for this part. I'm actually going to choose the outline of the foundations. Your overhang can be anything it wants to be, whatever you need it to be. I'm just choosing that as something to work to for now. And again, it can be changed at a later date. Once I've done that, I also need to make sure I've got the beam direction going in the correct way. So at the moment, you can see we've got these two little lines on the outside here. That means our beam direction is going up and down. So it's going this way. We actually want ours going along the roof because we're going to be providing purlins. So click on beam direction and then click on either this one or this one here. It doesn't matter which one you click on. I'm just going to choose that one. And you can now see those two little lines have moved from there to here. That means our beam direction is going in that direction there. Once I've done that, green tick, and we can now see we've got, if I go into 3D, you can see we've got to change some of the parameters within here. So we're going to 3D. We can see we've got this round bar, which we don't want. We don't want round bar as our purlin, and you can see they're too far spaced apart as well. So with it highlighted in our properties bar, we can change our beam type, and we can change that to our universal beam. Click apply, and that now changes it to that. Now our distance is probably too far apart, so I'm going to go 1200 for that, maybe. See what that looks like. That. And we can also see that our purlins actually run through our existing steel beams there, which we don't want. They should be sitting on top of it. So to change that, quite simply, we go into our south elevation and might need to set the detail level from coarse to fine, so we can actually see some detail. That's better. And with the when you hover over this roof system, make sure you get the you can see it comes up the structural beam system. Make sure that's clicked. Once we do that, we can then use our move tool. So there's this one over here. So we click move, and I want to go from here, which is the bottom of the web of that particular beam. I'm going to go to the top. That's now shoved it directly upright. It's important you go directly upright and not perpendicular to this beam here, but straight up. And you can now see we're up the top there. With that done, if we go into our site view, actually go into our level 2, just make sure it's been selected, which it is. I know it's selected because in the properties box it says so up here. So once I've done that, in site view, we can use this mirror and pick axis tool. So I'm going to click on the mirror pick axis tool and then zoom in. You want to make sure that you're not picking the line that's blue, which is the left hand one. You want the center. That's why I've used the site view, because it actually shows the center of this property. And click on that one, and then you can see it's mirrored it over to the other side. Just saves you having to draw it out again many times. So just make sure you get it in the right place. So that's now our roof system in place. And again, you can always go back in and change things. You can go into editing and edit the boundary again. So that's when you get the pink lines up and you can move them around and change them. With this, you can muck around with the fixed spacing and the beam types as well. You can go in there. For this particular drawing, just to finish off, to get it looking like the one that we had earlier, I might go into site, go into massing and site, put some topo surface in. My standard elevation is -150. Place some points. Just sort of gives it a bit of context, really. And then once I'm in there, just click on it. The material I don't like the earth material that they use. I prefer something a bit lighter, so I use gravel. And gravel is quite a good one, especially if you're going to be rendering this. It always looks better in render. And then again, so that's now looking a bit more like the original drawing we saw earlier. And that's pretty much how you do your structural steel frames, and you can play around with different designs, different styles. You can also, from this, if you wanted to keep that and then actually do a detailed drawing, you can start putting your wall systems and your concrete floors in and around it whilst you're drawing this as well. And that's how you do your steel structural frames.